Hi everyone, this is CJ. I'm going to do a reading today. Now, leave it to me to do a reading on Mercury retrograde in Pisces, which Mercury in Pisces gives you a little bit muddled messages anyway, but then add that retrograde to it. And but I like to do things differently because I'm an Aquarius rising, so we're gonna do it anyway. First of all, I want to show everyone my divination system. It's not tarot cards. I do a little bit of tarot card reading, but mostly I use these signs. I've just been working with these for so long. These are called Synchrosigns. They're just little tiles, basically. And they have just very basic pictures on them, which are symbols. And, you know, they're not real pretty to look at, but they're very simple. And so I've done so many readings where I've just, you know, like laid these out and someone will like look at them and they'll know right off the bat what I'm talking about. And I don't even have to explain to them sometimes, you know, what the meaning of the cards is. So, the tiles, whatever you want to call them. So they're called Synchrosigns, if anyone is interested. I did not design these, but they've been a favorite of mine over the years. So I'm going to do a reading. I apologize, I don't have my cloth laid out yet, but I got to find it. It's time for spring cleaning, time to go and find things that I've been missing for a while. So I'm going to just do a general reading. This is going to be for everybody, and it's not going to be more of a personal reading. It's going to be more of just a reading of the collective energies. I don't like to do, you know, personal readings for everybody that's watching, because I just feel like sometimes, you know, like that really doesn't apply to everybody. So I like to do just a collective reading. What are the collective energies going to be like? So this is probably going to be things you might see in the news, or, you know, you might experience some of these things yourself. You might see these in people around you, you know, at work, wherever. Just more tendencies. But I'm going to do it for the month of March. February's been kind of a rough month. So is January. I don't know about all of you, but I've been really feeling that, the tightening of the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. So, so I'm mixing the cards just so everybody can see I'm not looking in and seeing what's coming out. So, this first row, let me see if I can get it right so it's like facing the actual camera and not me. First row is going to be foundation. So these are things that might have come up in the recent past, things that were coming into with these energies already in play. So I do 3 for each column, I guess you would say. Each column is going to be 3. So these are the 3 foundations cards, and they kind of, you know, you can kind of tell, you can kind of piece them together, and a lot of times they'll work together. Okay, this is going to be constraints. I was trying to think of the word. These are things that might be obstacles in our path that we need to overcome. In the middle here, we're going to have actions. And the next column is hidden aspects. These are things that may not be quite obvious to you at the moment or to the collective. And this last column is potential outcomes. Okay. So let's look at what's in our foundations, what's been happening recently. Now this one in particular, that's a sure sign of danger, and that's called bones. The clock is, time is now. You need to act now. And then this little guy is at his desk, and he may look distraught, but really he's just kind of bored. So I see these two in the collective right now. I mean, that's pretty clear. We're kind of going through a time where there's a lot of danger floating around us, and a lot of dangerous energies out there that we have to be aware of. And this isn't quite related to these two. It's more, there's also a sense of just general malaise out there. People may be getting bored with their jobs. They're getting tired of the way things are. They're just not motivated. People are just not motivated right now. But I do see these two as going together because, you know, I know a lot of people out there are following what's going on in the country and in the world, but there's just a lot of dangerous things happening. I mean, we have coronavirus, you have what's going on in politics and just governments throughout the world. And basically, what the energies have been showing us is that the time is now. We have to take some action now because, you know, we've kind of been just going through and just seeing what's going to happen and holding our breath and trying our best to make it through. But now we're starting to see that there is some urgency to what's going on in the world. Constraints. This is Cliff. So this is sudden changes of direction. So I'm gonna have to think about that. In the constraints section, I think that would probably mean that we're being forced to make a change. It's being pushed on us, like we're being pushed over a cliff right now, and we're like up against the wall. We're literally standing on that cliff, going, we need to do something now. Kind of goes along with these two right here. Books. So this is knowledge. I'd say that means, trying to think of how to say this. We're getting muddled messages, basically. This is the knowledge that we get, but it's in the constraints section, so we're not getting all the information that we need, or we're getting a lot of mixed information, and I'm sure people are aware of that. It just seems like a lot of times on social media, there's all kinds of information out there, and you can pretty much believe whatever you want, and you're going to find something out there to support it. So you guys have some discernment. It's almost like there's too much knowledge out there. There's too many facts coming towards us, and you have to kind of, it takes some effort to sift and sort through all that knowledge, and most people are, frankly, just are kind of too lazy to take that action. I'm not talking about any of my viewers, of course, but there's just a lot of people who are like, I don't know, I see this Facebook post and it seems right to me, so okay, let's go with it. The moon is our intuition. And so we have not been following our intuition because it's in the constraint section. So, or maybe some people have been following their gut instincts a little too much, where they're not looking at the actual information out there. They're just kind of going with their gut. But definitely with this Pisces energy too, and the Mercury retrograde, there's been just some mixed signals in here, and we're having to sort through that and figure out what's right and what's wrong. And it's harder to follow your intuition right now, but that's really what's needed. Okay, so in the actions, these are steps that we can take right now to kind of raise the vibration a little and make things a little better. Hats. So we're having to be flexible. We're having to kind of, hats is about, wearing different hats. Basically, it's about taking on different roles. Let's put it that way in society. So you may be a mother and you have to go to work full time, and it's a lot. But I'd say in this general reading for the collective, I think it's more telling us that we need to look at all the different perspectives. There's a lot of different perspectives out there, and instead of just judging people instantly and striking them down because they don't agree with you, kind of look at their viewpoint, and even though it may be very, very, very hard, try to validate them a little, because what's happening is people are just kind of going out there and you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, this is the truth, this is the truth, and it's just a back and forth, and nobody's trying to see things from other people's views. And so you may have a right. You have a right to your opinion, and you may even be right. You may be 100% right, and you may know the other person that's talking about how the earth is flat, how they're just plain wrong. But you have to, in order to get them to listen to you, you have to validate their perspective, and that is so hard. It's something I'm working on too, I know. But that's the only way we're going to come together again as a country and as a world. Temple. This is going to within or to whatever spiritual place that you go to refill yourself. So rely more on that right now. Rely on your spirituality, and temple's more about outward places. There are other signs in here that are more about going within. Tomb would be one of them, but this one's usually more about going and finding your people out there, your people that you fit in with, that you feel comfortable with to talk about these deeper subjects, and relying on those people. So, if you go to a church, you start going more regularly. Maybe find some other groups that, if you've been wanting to go out and find a group to join, go to some meetup group that you've been wanting to check out, and see if you can find your people there, and people that that can validate you, because we need that validation as well. This is just, it's the dance card, but it's just flat out joy. And so try not to let all of this over here that's going on steal your joy. We still have to find our joy someplace, because if you don't, life can drag you down. And if you get too caught up in what's going on in the world and in the news, things are going to drag you down. So don't let that happen. Find a way to find your joy. And you could go here and let that help you find your joy. So let's move on to hidden aspects. Mountain. That's about seeing a higher perspective. I think that right now it's hard to see the higher perspective, and that's why why it's in the hidden aspects column, because I know it just seems very cloudy. The peak of the mountains kind of covered up with this thick layer of dark clouds, and everything looks awful, like it's about to fall apart. But there is a higher perspective peeking up there that you cannot see right now. And I have a feeling it's about to come out soon. Hopefully within this month. Maybe that's what this is about. Maybe that peak is about to come into view again. Sometimes I get a little discouraged and I think, oh, nothing's going to change. We're going downhill. It's just going to get worse and worse. But then I try to remind myself, no, it's not. There's always a reason for what's happening, and it's always trying to show us something. And there is a higher perspective, and even if we don't get to a place of change that things are back where we want them to be, it's coming. It's still there. You know, things fluctuate. Things go up and down, and right now we may be in valleys, but we're going to get back up there. This is just kind of the same thing as the mountain. I mean, it's the path, and we're on the path even though we can't see that. We're on the path to better times. There's the sun off in the distance. Is it going up? Is it coming down? We'll find out. We gotta just keep going and keep on the right path. Fists, I'm not sure why this is in hidden aspects, because it seems like there's a lot of fighting right out in the open. I'm wondering if this means there's a lot of discord that we don't see. I don't know, maybe in institutions that things are being, you know, where some people, we see some people as all joined together in unity for a certain cause. I'll just take an example. Let's say you have a problem with the fundamentalist church, and I'm not dissing on the church here, but let's say you have a problem with fundamentalism because you know, they're teaming up on gay people and your daughter happens to be gay. Okay, that's just an example. So you may think, oh, all these church people, they all are aligned together and they're all unified. You know, they might not be so unified right now. I think there's some infighting within structures, and that's we may not see that because they're not going to talk about that openly. So what are the potential outcomes? What are the highest possibilities for March? Because everything is quantum. There are endless possibilities, but these are the things that have the highest probability of happening. I'm going to save feet for last because I'm really not getting how that fits in here yet, but I will. This is shield. This is about boundaries. People are going to start putting up boundaries, and that doesn't mean arguing. That doesn't mean just conflict and fighting. That means standing up, being assertive, speaking your truth, no matter what other people think of you. So that's in the energy right now. People are going to start doing that more, and it's a worldwide thing. Like, this is going on worldwide. But see, here's the rub. This is feet. This is about isolating yourself and feeling like you're alone on it. See how you're standing alone on an island? So, yeah, I mean, I think maybe before things get better, we're gonna maybe feel even more isolated. So I hate to say that. I hate to, put that in there. I mean, I think a lot of people are already feeling isolated. And maybe this has to do with, I know there's a presidential election coming up and there's a lot of primaries. And so we all kind of, certain people thought we were all going to join together. And now it seems like people are kind of going off on their own and finding, but it is also about finding your own place and speaking your own truth. So that does kind of go along with this. I just think that people are kind of going within this next month. I guess it's going to kind of continue. I thought once Mercury moved on from Pisces and we got out of the Pisces sun that we wouldn't have to go inward so much. We could kind of join together, but that may be what this is telling us. So let me think about this. Standing up for ourselves. I think I just need a clarification card. So what is the basic message that all three of these cards are trying to tell me together? Because I can read them separately, but they just don't quite go together. So let me see if I can... Oh, castles. That's about building your dreams. So that's about building the dream world. So maybe we don't all come together yet with one common vision, but we're all deciding what we want out of life and what we want the world to look like. So we're building these sand castles and hopefully they stand. But yeah, I mean, this is the energy is worldwide right now. This is what's going on in the world. People are kind of retreating. They're going back to figure out what their place is in the world, what their viewpoint is. They're setting those boundaries, dreaming up what they want out of the world, and it's happening everywhere. So the message there is everybody needs to figure out what their truth is. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I'm sorry it's not more of a positive message. I was hoping we could all come together at the end of next month, but I'm thinking April might be the month where that happens. We're starting to move more into Aquarius energy. And so when that happens, I think there will be a lot of people coming together in the world and we might get more unified messages. But yeah, right now you need to figure out what your truth is and speak up for yourself. And that's all I have for everyone. Thanks everyone. If you like this, subscribe and like. And I might do some more readings in the future, but I also want to come on here and talk about shamanism at some point. So look for that video. I want to just do kind of a basic introductory to shamanism and how I came into it. It was really pretty interesting story. A lot of just synchronicities happened that led me to it. And basically what it is, there's different kinds of shamanism. None of them are the same, but this shamanism that I've been introduced to, what my experiences with it, and how I still use it today. So yeah, okay, well I hope everyone has a great March, and I hope you keep this in mind and leave comments and let me know if this rings true for you in any way. And we'll talk to you soon.